Hello, welcome back. It is Sunday, the 18th. Post Valentine's Day. Love y'all. Here on the Mateo Community server, I'm KungfuBeer. And we are in Los Angeles. LAJ A to be specific. The A yard. The B yard is right behind me. Over here. And we are going to be sorting all of this that just arrived just a little bit ago, a couple hours ago. A bunch of stuff for the 3 locals that are here. So we have you turn on them, the Y, that's the name of the cars, but the YVRN 2271, which goes right over here on the other side. Then we have the YVRN 2281, or 2281, which is the C yard where Taco Bell is. And then the 3351, which encompasses both of these yards here. So we're going to sort the yards. I just literally been already playing for a couple hours. I had another row of power here. Make sure I left those off, but I just sent those to Barstow. I grabbed some of the extra stuff from Malabar as well. There's like 1 engine there, but there'll be a supply train coming in. Or we can take power from here, or the fuel station, it's right over there. And go over there, and we need to go get cars from there and bring them here. Once they've been processed, then we can do it that way. But for now, I needed to, get 17 engines out of here, 17 power units out of here in Malabar. So now they can accept more, and we can accept more here as well. But we are going to start sorting here now. This is one of my favorite things to do in Run8 or any train simulator. And really, the other ones don't let you do most of this. So I'm going to switch the orientation of my engines here. That way, when I go forward, I'm going forward. I'm not confused on what I'm doing here. There's Taco Bell right here. POBs. So you said start with Taco Bell? Sounds good to me. 2281 is... We'll look down here real quick and just see what's down here. So these are 71s. We got 71s intermixed in here as well. Also just keeping an eye on everything. So while I've been here for a few hours and I knew I was going to do this job, I literally have not even paid much attention to any of this stuff because I was talking to Lazy Farmer right before the stream here. Hello. Just T-Car. Welcome. Hope you're having a beautiful Sunday. It's getting ready to rain here in SoCal here in the next couple hours. Other than that, it's, 67 degrees, almost 70 degrees. Not too bad. But I have not done any sort of planning or anything. I just put my butt on the ground there, moved the engines out, and when we went live, I had them over here. So this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. You see, let me go forward here. We are going to start with these ones here. Probably move them over a couple tracks. So before I hadn't... Hello, Lazy Farmer. I was just talking about you. Let's see, I need to throw this switch here first. We're going to start Taco Bell, or the Taco Bell cars. I have to kind of pull her forward. Let me put on the independent brakes. Lazy Farmer is currently taking a train down to West Colton from just right over there from the LA yard. He's doing UP stuff. We don't really care about that. Yellow is the old orange. So now we're doing just orange stuff. But you know, stuff needs to move. Doesn't matter who owns the railroad. It's all, listen, it's all steel wheels underneath, if you get what I'm saying. An old saying there for certain things. Let's leave it at that. So we are now lined up to hit the TOBs. Here we go. Yellow is the best. I mean, I don't mind. I was doing yellow before they in this server asked me to do the take over BNSF. Other than, you know, Chris was the yard master for Barstow, and nobody else. There was no. Everybody did yellow. Nobody did orange. I'm like, sure. They're like, yeah. Can you do all of it? Now this was again the very. So we had dude at West Colton. Chris was Barstow. Gene did the yard that you took that train from, Farmer, and that was the next one that came on board and said, whatever you need. Mateo did a lot of Bakersfield stuff, but he wasn't on all the time. So I took over BNSF and down here, and first I was shaking in my boots like you were earlier, like I don't know where anything is. And well, we found out everything is. So first order of business, we have a boxcar here, a whole bunch of cars attached together. And if you see right here, the brake pipe's at 0, but it's certain the air is still bottled in there. So I'm going to do a, I believe it's Control F7, and it is, but for some reason I turned that off. So, and see, this is the problem that I have sometimes, is that even though I have the whole train, the whole shebang selected, I don't know why the sound isn't coming through for those. Could be. Just, you know, another day of doing streams and nothing working right. Right before, I was trying to do this where I could cycle all the car names, and I had to restart the game because I was trying to get it to where it didn't show anything like this, and it just simply would not do that. So I restarted, and now I don't have bleeding sounds. Andrew, what's going on, man? Long live SP. Yep, I grew up with SP. So we're gonna take these industries here and pretend that they're UP industries, right? And that the engines that are pulling them are yellow. And I can go get yellow engines if that'll make you happier. Probably won't do it though, because no reason. Kind of like voting for the San Francisco 49ers. I just couldn't do it. I know a lot of guys are fans of the 49ers, and listen, more power to them. I just couldn't vote. I just couldn't. Yeah, I had to go with KC, and I'm not a big AFC fan. But, you know, also it was a great game. I really enjoyed the Super Bowl last Sunday. I think I have the handbrakes on. Let me apply them here. These are going to start rolling forward. It was a really good game, and I also appreciated that the commercials were back to the funny ones, and they weren't political. That was, so I took last Sunday off from doing the stream for you guys just to watch that whole, you know, the whole deal, to celebrate America and Super Bowl, and, you know, just do some America. And I tell you what, I was so happy that it was the way it should have been, because I would rather do this for you guys if, instead of watching all that political stuff. I don't care about anybody's political stuff. Whatever you believe is your beliefs. You know, throw it in my face and then we have a problem. I believe what I believe. I don't expect anybody else to have to do that. So I don't like getting that stuff thrown in my face. And when I'm watching sports, the last thing I want to see is what somebody makes me try to think, or, you know, buy your product because you want to sell it to, you know, you want support from 8 people. I'm not into that. So same thing with movies. That's why I don't like movies a lot, because they do a lot of forced stuff in movies. Gray's threatening to bring some SP power. Listen, if you got to bring power from CI, that was the first yard that I actually was an unofficial yardmaster on before I started helping out here as an official yard master at BNSF. So I love CI yard. They asked for help. I didn't expect them to say, "Can you take BNSF?" I'm sure. What yard? And they're like, "All of them." I'm like, okay. Wasn't expecting that at the time. And I think you guys that are on the server here that are constantly doing all the work, I mean, this would not be the community that it is without that. So thank you so much, guys, for coming in and having fun. And I'm glad the groundwork is there so you can just come in and move stuff. It took us a few years to, you know, I came in about a year after the server was up, maybe a little bit under that. And, you know, so my efforts were also part of this, but there's a lot of people. I mean, Garrison and Dean and Chris and the people that aren't here anymore, they all had a major contribution into it. But it really boils down to you guys that come here all the time, like Gray, to do, you know, the work. The guys that come here in LA, where I come in like this and I'm moving stuff around, but usually I don't get a chance because somebody already got to it. It's just amazing that how well everything flows here. There's just people at all different times of the day doing different things. So it's like the real railroad. And it's great. What makes this so fun to do. I actually forced myself the other morning to go on and do some Depot Plus time. I hadn't been on Depot Plus since around Christmas. I think Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, I did a stream on the Depot, which was the last time I was on there. And they don't have a policy you have to show up every month. So I know, I've heard that for years that, oh, I don't have the time to commit to Depot. And it's when you can, they don't want to see no effort for like 6 months and then they remove you. But you go on every 2 months or whatever, put a couple hours on, or you can span that out. You know, that's, as long as you're showing some effort to be on there, they won't remove you. As far as I know, the same thing. And there is a kind of so we compare ourselves to the Depot Plus often, and we're not wrong in doing so, because oftentimes we have a higher player base on average than the Depot, and they have several servers. We only have 2, and there's nothing wrong with. I mean, they're the best, right? They're the ones that have put everything, all the tools out for us to use. Anybody, you know, is a member of the Depot community. It's where we get all of our reference material. They put a lot of work into that. And so, yeah, it's amazing to have the community of Run8 players that we do. It's a niche community. There's not very much of us. But as you see right here, we're getting more people in all the time just because we're out here sharing the content. And people are like, man, I mean, that's how I started. I was playing Train Sim World and stuff, and it was fun, but it wasn't this. You know, this is the real deal. This is where you get to actually, it's not a game. It plays like a, you know, it's a simulator. So you want the real thing. You want the open world experience of doing what needs to be done without having to drive 5 miles, turn around and come back the same way and all that. So, but yeah, thank you, Chaos. I'm glad you're enjoying. When you purchased it, you should have had the download link immediately above in the receipt. Train Whisperer hasn't been on because you're driving trains now. I mean, listen, it's, you know, life happens and you come in when you can. Life always comes first. So, yeah, if you purchased it, what you want to do is you want to, and you missed that download. It was literally in the receipt. The download link was at the top, and it had like a file ID and a question mark and it equaled something. That was the actual license for it, and the download. If you email, It's, what is it? Support at highball.com. I'm going to get that support for you right now. Yeah, no, let's see. That's not it. Let me look at my my emails, because I've talked to him quite a bit. So yeah, let them know you purchased it, and it's not. It's highball at run8studios.com. I'm gonna copy the email address there. So that's the one you're going to want to put in there. Give them your name that you for your credit card and all that, and then he'll get you a link to it, and then you can download it and start enjoying it as well. Not a very big program, even with all the DLCs and everything. It does get expensive when you start looking at all the dollars that you spend for all the different skins and everything, but you don't need that. That just makes it pretty. What you need is the basic game, basic simulator. And then when you want it to look pretty, you buy the skins and the car packs. And then when you want choices to do things, you buy routes, DLCs. And there's only a couple of them. I think there's 4 routes for Southern California where we're playing right now. And we're playing multiplayer. You don't have to do it in multiplayer, but if you, yeah, check your inbox, your spam. I think it comes from what, 3D Train stuff, or is it Run8 Studios? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, you might get on tonight. That's get on there and look around, see what you want to do. Mr. White will be jumping in there and probably, he gets hungry, so he has to relax and have sandwiches and stuff, but he'll be monitoring your DPUs for you, or your MUs, and let you know if there's any problems. But yeah, anything you buy on Run8 Studios, as soon as you get the receipt, like the page that says, success, at the very top, it'll say, like, here's your download link, and it's the string of it's 3D Train stuff, blah blah blah, equals, and then that whole thing. I'm not making you out to be a bad guy. What are you talking about? I always loved having you ride along, and you're always helpful too, by the way. Not a bad guy, the opposite of bad guy. Just hanging out, man, having a good time. That's what it's all about. No pressure. No pressure to get to work, put on steel toes, start directing things. Get out there, have the orange vest on. Why don't they have yellow vest, by the way? Does UP wear yellow vest or orange vest? That's all I have to say about the yellow. The CSX have blue ones? Do they have orange ones as well? All right, so I'm going to, what I'm doing here, for those of you that came in a little bit late, is I'm doing some sort. Bad luck. Bad dude is bad luck. All right, here's some semis. Here's some SMIs as well. That kind of stinks. So... again, I wasn't really doing a whole move plan, right? I was just trying to sort. So now I have the situation here where I have, okay, all right, came up with a plan. On the spot. This is 2271, so we're going to cut here. I think we have brakes on that one, so we'll turn those off. We'll start braking these guys. I am not in Bakersfield. I'm in Los Angeles. K&O WAMX. Sounds like a radio station, doesn't it? Yeah, we're in the San Bernardino sub, which is Los Angeles. San Bernardino sub covers Riverside and Los Angeles, the areas, the geographic areas, and the Cajon covers the city of San Bernardino, and then the UP line, West Colton, all the way up through LA, into the San Bernardino sub. So the San Bernardino sub has Los Angeles County, Orange County, Riverside County, and it ends at San Bernardino County, where that's where Cajon picks up. Cajon is like mostly, so it's Kern County and San Bernardino County. Wait. No. The West Colton, the Colton, oh my gosh. The Cajon sub covers San Bernardino County up to Bakersfield, or Barstow. At Barstow, which is also in San Bernardino County, it goes towards Bakersfield, which is in Kern County, I believe. Bakersfield, Kern County? Farmer would know that one. All right. I may not have been paying attention enough here. This is 71. We'll put 71s back here on this one. So let me go more forward. Or did I make it already? Kind of far for me to see here. It's, you know, okay. So we're going to put, that's 51. Oh, those are 71s in front. Okay. So we do want that one. Bakersfield. Is that in Kern County? I know Edwards is in Kern County. Edwards Air Force Base. I don't know where I thought Fresno, or not Fresno. Fresno's in some other county. So what subdivisions after San Bernardino? It's written Bernardino, by the way, Bernard. So it depends which way you're. So if San Bernardino ends at the ocean, right here in LA. Right now, if they ever connect it, it'll go up the coast, up to the Santa Rosa area where, you know, the other DLC by itself is. If you want to go towards Bakersfield, you have to go up and around through Mojave. Fresno's in Fresno County. Bakersfield is Kern County. Okay. I thought I had that right. And there's also, so we're West Colton. You're headed, it's actually, it would be theoretically eastbound, but it's southbound on UP. If you're leaving West Colton headed southbound, you go towards Phoenix, Arizona, or Tucson, Arizona. So that one is not connected. It ends just a little bit outside of West Colton. Is on SoCal, is Stockton in there, by the way? I've never gone up. I do have the Bakersfield sub, which covers Fresno, Calawa and stuff, but I've been up there a couple times. Yeah, they started work on the East Coast stuff. So they didn't continue doing what we want done. Wait, did I put that there? All right, that's USG. I thought it was Taco Bell. So we got the SMIs. Let's go get those. There's a lot. I mean, and this is to scale too, by the way. So when you're driving or flying from here in Los Angeles, downtown LA, I mean, LA, downtown LA is right over here. Like that's downtown LA right there. So when you're going from here and you're headed towards Barstow, it literally takes, so remember you're only driving like 50 miles an hour. You're slowing down in spots, but it literally takes like 3 hours. 4 hours if you're, get stuck behind something. Or having to climb hills at like 20 miles an hour when you're going past San Bernardino. It takes a long time because that's how long it takes. I could drive from here to my house. I live just off the BNSF main line, just down the street from West Colton and San Bernardino yards. And from here to there, it takes the same amount of time as I would drive. As a matter of fact, I just went to Anaheim this morning to pick up my son, and it took me 45 minutes to get there. '69th is Arco Creates. What's up, Arco? We've been playing, Arco and I have been playing a lot of Sniper Elite, killing Nazis. We've been playing a lot of that lately in co-op, and it's been a lot of fun. On YouTube here, you'll see last Friday, I didn't do my stream on Wednesday. That would have come out, LA Noire, on Friday. So I just did a kind of a standalone. Arco and I had played a little bit, and then the next one's coming out this coming Friday. And I think I'll do like a couple, I want to get a couple more of those to kind of fill in the gaps for because I just haven't had time to record and edit and all that content. And so I just got a lot of stuff going on right now. So, with the death of my parents, I got to take care of all that stuff. So that's been one of the biggest things time-wise that has prevented me from putting out a lot of content. I did so much content at the beginning of the year, it took all year to get it out. And that was last year, 23. I ran out in like January, so I put together a few more, but I've just been kind of doing these live ones mostly. And starting on the 5th of March, I think that's a Wednesday, I'll be back on Twitch every Wednesday around 5 p.m., maybe a little bit later, depends on the work schedule. But I'll be back to doing my baseball stream where I'm playing Super Mega Baseball as my custom team, playing other custom teams, some teams that some of the guys like Arcos has his own team in there as well. I will be playing each other on those while I'm commentating the game while I'm playing. If you haven't ever seen those are actually in YouTube. There's a whole playlist for them. But season 7 will be starting March 5th. About an hour-long stream. It's somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour. There might be a few occasions where I do double headers because I have a total season 30 games before we go into the playoffs. Normally I do 18, so I've almost doubled the seasons, and that allows me to play each team twice, one at their house and one at my house. So and then on Sundays, of course, we do this, but then I want to try to get some content in between on YouTube for those days in between, like 1 or 2. There was a point for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, I was putting out video every single day. And then I turned that down to every other day. And then that's when I ran out of content at the end of the year. So it is what it is. Plus everybody gets tired of seeing like the same videos pop up. So go, oh, well, see something new. All right, and let's see. I'm going here to this SMI. I was just looking right now to see if there's any more. So I'm going to come back on this track here. And we'll get that guy. Follow the cars up here. Grab the whole train because the SMI, you know, it's in the back. See if we can put them all together. I'm just lazy, I know. I go to, you know, do some editing or whatever, and then some Canadian dude pops in like, hey, you want to kill? I can't do a Canadian accent. Sounds just like mine, except they say A lot more. But going to kill some Nazis, you want to join me? And I was like, yeah, of course. I'm not editing because I'm going to kill Nazis with you in co-op. The whole reason I game is for multiplayer, or not that, you know, not multiplayer in the old days like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and all that. I like playing co-op. That massive online first-person shooter stuff is behind me. Playing with kids who have, they're using controllers to play first-person shooters, and it's unfair because they get a aim assist. And the assisting of the aim with a controller isn't what bothers me the most. It's that you can be hiding and it will find you even though you're hiding. You couldn't see the person there anyways. They're behind a wall. And if they do aim assist, it goes, oh, there's something right here. So it gives away your positions. Whereas when it's just computer players with keyboard and mouse, you have to go find those people. You know, if you got snipers hiding, which everybody wants to snipe and not contribute to the team. So when the flags are going down, so you have to go out and you have to find them and then you stab them back in the neck. After about a decade of playing those games, moved on to DayZ, and a lot of Legion at War ended up going off and playing Call of Duty and stuff, so found my way to doing more simulator stuff. Lucky for you guys. Head me. I'm going to grab this. I think there's one or two here if I did it right. SMI. There's one train over, but we'll have to deal with that in a moment. And there's right here is the No Way 2271 way. Come in, let's give it a gentle kiss here to mount up. I got a hiccup for some reason. I will fly up here, we'll turn off the brakes and turn them on where we need them. So, 81 SMI. SMI. Yeah, when you stop playing it for a while, it looks weird again. So I'm going to grab these 71s and get them out of here. A whole grip of them. Here we go. And this one right here, right? These two in the middle is so rude. So rude. So we'll put these handbrakes on and they can stay there and be lonesome. Of course, I probably need to turn off the handbrakes on the other ones. Go up high. Now we can get in there, and I don't know why we're rolling back. Must be gonna roll too far back. So I try to do smooth movements, by the way, but when you're operating all by yourself, you know, you have to hurry up and get back there to make sure you don't, you know, get too far behind and blocking the tracks and stuff. So if you're experiencing some motion sickness, I apologize for that. Oh, look, there's SMI right there, too. But we can resort these. We can resort these 81s over in the C yard. We'll have plenty of room. My goal was just to get these 71s over here, or the SMI, but so I have these 71s here. I'll put these with these KPCs. I mean, Mr. White does this every day, you know what I mean? So it's like nothing new. He's just like, yeah, whatever. 71 is going down the road, so I'm going to bring the 71s over to this track. Probably too many for them. So I got 71 that's the way that I'm looking at past the UP crossover tracks. 3351 is here, and these 81s go the way that the train is moving right now towards Sea Yard. Now we're going to cross the bridge and hopefully go look at the switches before anything catastrophic happens, like my wheels don't want to stay. See, right here, that's why. It's long enough and I come over here and I go to back up, I'm going to be doing splits. Nobody wants to do splits. Well, some people do, but not me. I am not a fan of getting my legs split. Okay, and that turns, so we're good there. And I have this whole track. The UP River Yard is empty right now. They don't have any. Probably waiting on West Colton to get stuff ready for them. But they don't have anything sitting in the yard now. All we got to do is get, suppose, I would like leaving, like being able to run around stuff. This is a pretty long track though. As far as runarounds, I wouldn't mind using the shortest ones to do that, to make that happen. So we're calling this now the 71 track. Already thrown it reverse. I'm waiting for it to actually start pushing backwards, and here it comes. We didn't check to make sure that all the brakes are bled either on this one. And these are full cars, so if we start cutting and kicking cars, got to make sure that we're doing ones that are... I just noticed this train is full of empties and wasn't really sorted correctly at Barstow. You got a full one here next to, like, kind of halfway full next to an empty one, and then a whole bunch of fulls. So that would have been hard to drive here. Coming down the pass, and sounded like it didn't have any problems. All right, 70 wires and 81 here. We'll cut that off here pretty quickly. We'll do our nice little... I'm going to hit the handbrake on this. That takes the pressure off. Open the coupler. Let's hit the brakes and let it roll back just a little bit. A nice, smooth disconnect. We're not going to go crazy. We don't need to. No reason to have anything disconnect from us. So I just hit the handbrake, so that will come to a stop. And then this track we're going to do with the 81s here. And while I'd like to put all the SMIs together, I'm not going to spend the time doing that. That's for who's running the local. That's part of the fun of doing the locals. All right, so then I want to put 81s here. I don't think this is an 81 down here. Let's go take a look. No, that's 71s, which we'll break through those. Break through those as well. So we're going to do 71s, 81s, and then 51s. But we'll leave this track open to run around if we need to. Coming on back. Yeah, a bunch. So a lot of these SMIs are going to be together. As long as we can get to the Taco Bell, that's really all we care about. I've mentioned it before on other streams about this, but so I think Taco Bell, you know, you have that in most of your states here, but what you don't have is Del Taco. Del Taco is more authentic. It's still fast food, and it's not like straight Mexican, you know, like authentic homemade or restaurant food. It's fast food-ish. And they have hamburgers there too. You can get it. I literally go there. I get a double Del as a hamburger, the double Del, and then 2 tacos with it. Kind of like, I think if you go to Carl's Jr., they have the green burrito at them. Similar, but I don't find the green burritos. I don't know. You know, everybody has different tastes. I don't favor the green burrito as a Mexican restaurant. Very well could be. Just from what I've seen, I didn't really find it that way. They have Mexican shaped food, tasting food. Well, Taco Bell, I don't know that any of them will kill you. If you don't eat crazy, you know, for most of your life, you can pretty much get away with eating junk food once in a while. It's when you just constantly do that stuff. And to be clear, you know, what we call fast food, hamburgers and French fries and all that, it's not necessarily junk food. The bread is the least, you know, the thing that's not the greatest for you. But the meat and everything is perfect for you. However, you start getting into the stuff and you eat it at home, and then you know, compiling it with all these other things and drinking the sugary drinks like sodas and all that, then yeah, body can't keep up. So then it becomes a problem. So I do want to empty this track, but I'm gonna go get these other cars and this one over here first. And we might have to double up some tracks here, the 71s and 81s. We'll have to see. I mean, the yard's about, let's see. If let's see, go to, oh, here, let me find the LAJ A yard off CP Riddle. LA West. Page 14. So if I bring it up there, you can see that these yards are, all these tracks are about 1,730 feet. So they're not short, they're not Barstow. You know, they're not like 7,000 feet, 6,500 feet. But it's not a classification yard here. This is a local yard. And we're servicing 3 locals out of this yard. So, but we have 4 yards besides here. This is just where they come in. We sort them and move them off to their yard. And that's where we classify them. So this is like a first/rough sort. I just sort them by locals and then take them to where they go and then sort them further there. Or sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just deliver them the way they are. You guys have seen that. You've seen me do that as well. So here's the rude ones. We're going to take the rude ones. I've been sitting here doing nothing, not helping anybody. And when I brought, I don't know why. Sometimes I do this where I just leave the cars back here. Why don't I bring them and then cut them? All right, so I'm going to, I was going to try to go up high, but that's not high. That is. Just want to see if there's any air in any of these cars, because we bled the air out of these guys, and the other ones we moved, but we haven't even bled the air out of any of those yet. I mean, even though the angle cocks are open on them, you remember they were still full of a lot of air, bottled up. Okay, so we got 81 Rude, or Rudd. I like Rude, sounds better. And then PRP, and what's the last one? Oh my God, OMW. On my way. So these are going to C yard, so we're going to go ahead and pop these in with the other C yards. However, let's see. Yeah, these are intermixed here, so we'll go with our first thing of going to put these 81s together. And 81 is this set right here, this cut right here. We'll cross this switch and then back her up. Stand on the ground here. Once I pass the switch, I'll do a countdown timer, even though I'll see the back of the train. Just because, right there. So that tells me it's just shy of 500 feet. I just noticed where Arco said I was lazy and the farmer popped up saying, no, I'm the lazy farmer. Pretty good. And Mr. White went off of that, said, speaking of lazy, I haven't been on Run 8 in a while. And then I apologize for that. I'm going to kill it. I still need to do the graphics on these cars, too. I want to do some new ones. I'm going to do a big old, you know, like Mr. White, not that you're a tag or anything, but just, you know, a nod to you, to Crone, to everybody. Lazy Farmer, Arco Creates, everybody that's always in here watching stuff. You then come in every week to make sure that your name is on the cars. You know, cheeseburgers. We said 81 is this first one. Okay. We'll verify that because I usually don't do that, and then put it in the wrong lane. So we do have 81s here. We'll set this switch. That's why I stood right by the switch. Now that I'm thinking about it. Come on back. Then I'll set the timer again in case I have to go look at the back of the cars here once we get to the clearance point. So if we go and walk the train, clearance point is probably going to be here. There's more room there, but it's, you know, that way if the cars expand. So I'm going to start it there. Of course, that includes our nose to nose, so that includes the power that we have in the front. And once I get to this point, 3.3 miles an hour, I'm going to take off the handbrakes and give her a little gas. Go to the very rear of the train and hop on. Then we'll watch our counter up here to see when we clear that spot. 300 feet to go. I think we'll pull this one next because it has a lot of 71s, which is this set of cars here, this cut by itself. There's 3350 ones in here, which is for the yard out here. Most likely move those over to the B yard, which is behind us, just past the bridge where this cutoff is. So we'll set up the B yard for the 3351, and then that way they can sort them between the different, you know, where the different tracks are in the yards here. I think there's like 5 branches that come off the yard tracks here, the yard lead. All right, so I have passed my marker point, so I'm going to go ahead and bring her to a nice stop. The front of the train. We are definitely clear. Set some handbrakes on. I think we'll go with 4. And because of the length of the tram, I'm going to go ahead and perform a handbrake test. Verify that it does not move. So coming in reverse. Okay, we got movement, and it's hard to keep going here. It's going now, so we'll go ahead and take off the off the power, and it stops within a few cars train length, which is good enough to pass. I don't know what the actual, Mr. White can speak to that, what the actual handbrake requirement is, how many cars for UP or CSX, you know, how you start doing a rolling test, and how many cars does it need to stop to pass? I'm not trying to look for the actual answer for the simulator here, like what we should say that's not important. We're not a 100% real world kind of place, but just something that makes sense. Like, well, you see it stop in a half a car, 3/4 car, 5 cars. As long as it stops, that's good. And of course, every grade, you know, grades matter. So it depends on where you're at. You know, if you are somewhere where the grades like San Bernardino, grade's pretty steep, then going to take longer for those cars to stop. Now we're going to go get this cut. Like I said, we're starting to peel away at the onion here. I have not marked that I'm doing this in progress either. I should probably do that. Actually looking for the job here. So it's sorting on that one. Don't want to come in too hot, so I had dynamics as well as locals. Independent brakes set pretty high on that, so that's why we came to a stop. It's good. Good coupling speed there, 3 miles an hour. That I can live with. Handbrakes off. Let's go ahead and pull her forward. All right, control F7. Let's bleed those brakes. Check them here. Left control F7. The Blakes are bled. So are the brakes. So we're going 2 lanes over to the left. So once we hit that switch, we'll get ourselves prepared. And then after we get that done, we'll start moving over to the right here and getting other things chunked out. I'm going to jump out right here at the switch right in a minute here. 3, 2, 1. Because once we get the 3351s, the cars for 3351, then I want to cut those off here for now. Otherwise I have to come back and shove them down here, and we'll do that in a minute when we're dealing with this. And again, as long as I have a run through or run around, if I can get through one of these tracks the other side, doesn't matter which one it is. I figured I'd use the one I'm on now because it goes all the way down, all the way through the entire yard. 420th is NM coming in smoking hot on 420. Not April yet. All right, that's 2271. This guy is a 51 here. Got a handbrake on there. Wait a minute. So we have a little bit of a mixture in here, so we'll have to yank these out, which is cool. Take the 71s out, and we'll come back at 35s, and we'll shove them somewhere. Probably this one, and then move back over to the 71s. So let's prepare for that. Yep, watch it on TV as usual. That's good. Big screen. How does this look on the big? Because it's widescreen. It should be like 1080 for you or close to it. Did I set the brakes? I think I did. I think I only set 2 though. We might need to set a couple more. All right, coming on back. There we go. Go ahead and open the couplers, pull forward. We're not going to be able to do the, oh yeah, we will. The countdown timer because the train's not that long. Go to the front. Going all the way to 71s, which is this cut on over here. We got 71s and then the 81s. As I pass that switch, I'll do the countdown timer. This isn't very long, so don't really need it too much. Just so I can kind of keep mental notes. 425 feet or something. Yeah, I want to do more graphic stuff. Don't have time. I was going to do the same thing for the More Freedom American Truck Simulator stuff, but I got to build skins for the new trucks that came out, or the new truck. And just haven't been able to get to it yet. But I do have a public mod out there that we use. Got all kinds of cool stuff in it. Go watch NM's stream on Mondays on YouTube. Find out more information about that. What is NM Gaming, right? Your no, it's NM. It's 2588 at Twitch. NM Gaming is your YouTube. All right, 5 miles an hour. We got to keep an eye on the speed so we don't squish the blood out of our knuckles. To the back here, and we'll ride the Arco reefer here. Arco reefer, the orange. We're coming a little hot right now. We're starting to slow down. We're just over 5 miles per hour, which we could couple this speed. It just makes me a little nervous. 5 miles an hour. I'm more around the 3.5, 3 to 3.5. That's where I like. I want to just kiss it. I'll try to get down to 1.5 though, but looking good here. That's 3.2, so that's not too bad. Keep her going, 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 keep her going. Bring her back about 5 or so. Call that 4. About 3 left to go. Now deuces. Call that one sticks, or last one. And that'll do right there, 58.17. All right, wait for a little slack to come my way, but it's not coming. So we'll set the parking brakes on 4 of these. Go ahead and do a reverse. Take the slack, but also push to do a brake test. I mean, it doesn't want to move at all. That's pretty good. All right, off the gas and to a complete stop. I will leave those there. Let's go get more. Job's just chunking along here. Almost done. About another hour. Should have this all wrapped up. It's Miller time. Have you guys had Miller like in a while? Anybody? Because I haven't. Used to do fantastic commercials for sporting events like NFL, NBA, MLB. All right, we're gonna go get those other 3350 ones back here. Starting to get dark here in LA. All right, 5 p.m. I think we said we're going to shove these 51s right here to the lane over to the left as we're looking now. We'll go straight back here. We'll grab what we have here, pull it forward, and then we'll see if there's any 51s on the back, because then we can, instead of just pulling the front 2 off, moving them over, come back, get it, pulling the 71s out and so forth. We'll just see what we got. Do as efficient as possible. Safety third. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and I think we already bled all these brakes. We have the handbrakes on. Now we're ready to pull forward. We've got two to go to the 71s. And then running down, we have 51s in the very rear of this. So we're going to take the whole cut. And we'll shove all 51s here on this track here. That means that switch there is the only one at the clear. Starting to count down now. Just under 900 feet of drainage to clear. There's Porn. 2271 Porn. What up, Riz? I always call him Rise, but his name's Riz Zemble, so it's like, why wouldn't you call him Riz? That would be in context, though. Oh, we're just, besides the yawning that I have, By the way, that trip tomorrow, I got to take 3.5 hours. 3.5 hour drive. It's supposed to be raining and snowing up through the Grapevine, so got to head out that way for a couple days. So I will not be live this Wednesday on Twitch. I'll have one more, unless anything disastrous happens, one more the following Wednesday before we go into our baseball season. Teams are already set up. I got the last input from Bogan yesterday. NM already gave me his more freedom. There were no changes. Like more freedom was the way it was, and those are the last two teams that needed potentially any adjustment. So ready to go, game on, play ball, and beer keggers. Coming to a Twitch stream near you starting February 5th, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 8 p.m. East Coast time, with some flexibility, and that's every Wednesday. Work always comes first, so if work ever has an issue and I have to delay it, or something happens personally, I won't be able to make it, then I will let you guys know, probably on Twitter, X, or whatever they call it these days. Elon's little chat thing. Keep an eye on that. It's Twitter, X. KungfuBeer on Twitter. It's all down in the description below, I think. Used to be. Got all the media stuffs. We're going to get this TGC and this porn and pet out of here. I will not be safe on the road, because if I be safe, then somebody will hit me who's not knowing how to drive on my highways, as I own them when I drive. I go around them, though.
There goes the neighborhood.
What's that? So, Cows Monkeys, who was here and he just bought Run 8. He's just followed me. Thank you so much, sir. Why can't I get, let's put on a handbrake here. Now it'll work. Pull that forward, see if that peels off. It does. Go ahead and pull forward. Let me put some handbrakes on. I did not do a test on this, but I think we're going to be just fine with these 4 handbrakes on. We should be pulling forward already. Am I not in a notch? Rail driver's not giving me the notches I'm requesting. So we got 3 for 2271 coming off, with 2 for 3351 following. Fly through the air here. By the way, so those that are potentially an odd how smooth everything runs, I have to say that one of the reasons is not because I'm a great driver or anything, because I'm not, but I have a rail driver that is. The rail driver is a joystick for train operations, just like a flight yoke would be for aircraft operations. It is rather expensive. It's about $200. They're hard to get. The design isn't the greatest, but it's the best thing that's out there until somebody makes something better. But it allows me to totally control the train with impunity and smoothly, or at least better operate it than I would be on a keyboard. Some of you guys operate these things amazingly with keyboards. I don't know how you do it. I barely can even type without having to correct myself all the time, much less try to operate a train with all the different keys that it uses. So I have to say, part of my success in here is because I use a rail driver, and the only problem with the rail driver for me has been when I tell it to go to like notch 2 and it goes to 4 like it just did. Just the sensitivity of it. I calibrate it. I just did earlier. Calibrate it all the time. It's really easy. You just go here to controls and you say calibrate, and then you can adjust your calibration settings how you like it. And then when you're done, that's it. So it doesn't always stay in calibration, and sometimes as I move the throttle lever. The throttle lever is really the only one that I have a problem with when I have problems. And it's more of an annoyance. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that, you know, it doesn't, I have to pay attention. I mean, who the hell wants to pay attention? You're driving trains. You don't have to pay attention all the time. Like this guy here. I got to put the handbrake on so I can take the stress off that coupler. And I'm just going to let her float back. She's going nice and slow. If she stops, she stops. I'll throw a handbrake on it, but I'm going to pull forward in the meantime. So I've got 51s here that I have to now send back where those other ones are. That one should couple up without any problems. I will have handbrakes on in weird places, but that's fine. But so I'm going to be watching this like a hawk, and it just coupled up, so we're good there. All right, now we're going to come on back. Do a little independent. Coming back. 3. And these guys are full, so I won't be kicking them off too hard here. And Run8 does crash sometimes. It doesn't matter what you do, though. Like, sometimes I'll be standing here looking at not doing anything. Like, oh, look, there's a green switch, and then a red switch, and then a yellow switch, and the next thing I know, I'm looking at my desktop going, there are no switches. So yeah, Run8 does crash at some points, but I would not have the, you know, they made calibration software for like Windows 7 and stuff. Do not have that installed. If you do, uninstall it, because that calibration software actually does not blend well with Run8, because Run8 put all the stuff for the rail driver in the game, unlike Dovetail games where they kind of haphazardly did it. I used to love Dovetail games until I found Run8, and once I got knowledgeable of Run8, I've never played a Dovetail game more than 4 seconds. What was it? 7 seconds. 7 minutes. One time I played one for 7 minutes. That was on the Cajon Pass, and said, no, this is stupid. Just because it's, you know, it's not Run8. It's not the same thing. That was at 2 miles an hour. Seemed a little bit heavier, but it wasn't. Get out of here. All right, got to come back a little bit more. Handbrakes off. Let's come back. I used to talk a lot about like why the graphics are different and stuff. Doesn't matter. These graphics, not bad. And if you are a Dovetail enthusiast, just go ahead and fly, you know, 20 feet off your tracks and then look around. Tell me what you see. Whereas I can fly from here. I can literally fly from here all the way to Bakersfield or all the way to Arizona if I want. You cannot do that in a Dovetail game. Well, that's why the graphics are different. Even though I just said I wasn't going to talk about it. All right, let's move. We're going to move over to this lane next. So let me throw this switch. Do a handbrake test coming back. I don't know how many handbrakes operated, but we'll find out how they hold here. Pretty good. Because I think, oh no, I bled all those brakes. We're just kind of tugging and pulling now. Now we'll go forward. Yeah, I don't know anything about Roblox. I know my son played it a decade ago, and almost a decade ago, a little bit more than that. And he wasn't adhering to the simple rules that I had forth, so he didn't get to really spend a lot of time playing that. I don't know what Roblox or train stuff, what it even is. And I probably wouldn't like it because I grew up with blocky games in the 80s, so trying to play blocky games now makes me angry. Like these graphics here, these are older cars, by the way. You can see on the graphics are like low quality and they're just like, eh. But they're gonna redo these models, so then they'll put higher graphics on them. They're fine because they're just, you know, they were done like 10 years ago. So we got 81 here, 81 tankers. This is hazmat, some sort of hazmat. I don't know what type of hazmat. We can make it any type we want. We want to make it combustible. Thought I just did that. Okay, so we're gonna pull forward handbrake off. Let's check our cars. Our cars have air in them, so left control, Alt 8, left control, F8. The wrong one. I gotta do, because have that thing open. That's F7. There we go. I was like, why isn't it doing it? I realized I'm saying F8 and pushing F8, and F8's for these things. And so I do this with the rail driver right here. I don't do the keys, although you can, which would be left control F8. So these are all 81s here. As soon as we see a 71, we'll stop, do a cut. And then when we find a point where the 81 tracks get too full, well, we should have some other empty ones. Unless this whole cut's 81. And they're going to C yard, so. We can go multiple tracks here if we need to for the 81s so far. I think we'll be all right. And we have 1,700 feet. You see the end of it coming up now. Oh, no, that's not the end of it. Well, that's way. No way. All right, we should be good there. Get closer than I want. Actually, I'm going to push back a little bit. I don't like it where it's at. So on a server, if you're coming this way, it gives you a little bit of room. So if the engine clips that through that, it's not always a massive deal, but if it clips to it pretty hard, the server crashes and everybody on it goes away. So we don't want to do that. So we'll make sure that we're free and clear by leaving like we'd have to do in real life, a large berth. Why is that one? So let's put a couple handbrakes on here. That's only 2 so far. I just want to loosen this. I'm going to pull forward and then I'll deal with the handbrakes. And then let me get a copy of the train I currently have in case something happens to it. Where are we at? We're here. So let's put on some more handbrakes. An SMI car again, a couple of them. Good holder. Oh, that's a long one. I don't know if that one, because the 81 is starting to get long now. So we'll probably put more 81s on this track as we're clearing it, but we'll deal with what we got right now. One more, 2 more switches to go. Where's the end of this thing? I've got 2 now. The last one. What's our, I forgot what our road number is, 2281. So ATSF 2281, I think you are. Come back for, you're good for 5. Contact at 5. Our road number, 5817. I'll remember that for about 13 seconds. 5817, you're coming on back out 4. Yeah, you practice the single player, so when you're playing with somebody else, you can like do the conductor stuff. Talk it out loud. So I have 1 car, 2 cars. Now we're down to 2. one more to go. Now we're at half. We need to start slowing down. We're good. Come on back. We're at 4.5. We're coupled. And let's keep her coming back to clear the tracks. Handbrakes are coming off. You're good for 10 behind you. This might be the last row of these 81s. We'll see how much we have after we get it to this point here. Right after these tankers pass, I believe. We call it right here. We got 2 more. Got 2 or 3? It looks like 3 more now. Now 2. There's the last one coming up. Halfway point right there. We got 3, 2, 1. That'll do right there. So we'll put on handbrakes. Should be sufficient there. Let's go ahead and do a handbrake test. Coming in reverse. We're at notch 4 and we are struggling to push. Coming up a little bit more. Get her going. Past those flat spots on the wheels where it did skids. All right, coming off power. It comes to an immediate stop. We're good on the handbrake test. Coming forward. We're turning there and that lane is clear. So we're coming back here to these cars. Oh no, that's 51. Coming back here to these ones to grab those. We can get to the switch before we hit it with our... Barely. After I couple up here, I'm going to go look at this 81 cut and see how far back it goes. We don't want to push into the far end of the track. We'll put them right here, though, right next to us. 81's going over C yard, just down the road, so that'll be a nice double up there if we need it. These are 71s. We have plenty of room on the 71 cut right now. Five coming down to 3. 2.5 is even better. All right, we're coupled up. Let's go take a look over here real quick, see where we're at. So we can hold another 5 on the 81, maybe 6, and we can hold another, 20 of the 71. So we're good there. Stand on the ground. Let's go ahead and pull forward. Handbrakes are off. Pulling forward. Feels heavy, like some brakes are on somewhere. What's up, Fanny? All right, so the 22 is 171 on here, and then we'll have to stop it apparently. Okay. So we only have the 171 on here. We'll grab that off of here and move that over. Although, let's see. I had room for 5 81s. We got more than 5 here. All right, so I got 51s on the back end of this. So, okay. So we're going to take the whole thing. Handbrakes coming off, coming forward. We got the 71 off at the very end. 51s we can move over one track, and then after that the 81s we can start a new track with, and the 71 at the end we'll put that over on the one cut at the very end. So the least amount of movements. But we save gas money. And the switches and all that good stuff. I'm just keep cycling between notch 2 and 0 just to keep the momentum going without going too fast. Trying to go between 2 and 0. Because I like to do 1, but you got to be real particular to get to 1 like that. If I see anything weird in here, then we'll just have to figure out the adjustment for that. But here comes the 51s, which we're going to put one track over to my right. If they're all 51s, then that makes things easier. Come out the one in the Cajon Pass. Oh, so here's a 2271. Like the rest of these are 71, so we're gonna have to deal with those now. And it happened in like the 90s, and it was because they miscalculated some things. Like they had some engines. They had a power unit that they're counting as it had power. It had they're counting it as towards the HPT, but it was dead, so it wasn't providing the HPT. And then they had some other misweight or some miscalculations with weight. So when they went down the hill, they couldn't get the train stopped. Too heavy for what they were pulling. 71's coming over to the far track here, so we'll got 2 more to go for that. Slowing down now. 1.5. Last car. Halfway mark. That'll do right there. We got 4 or 5 coming back with about 5 behind. More than that now. We didn't get her stopped all the way before started coming back or wanting to come back. We don't need notch 7, rail driver. Thank you, though. Thanks for your assistance. Should be good right there. Black's coming in, and cars are slacking in and out like an accordion. We'll ride it back, you said? So we smash in the car behind us and break our wrists. All right, we got about 2.5. 2.5 to go. Getting a little high on the speed. Let's slow her down a bit. Using dynamics. 4.5. 4. 3.5 contact. Way over here on the bridge. And we've got plenty of room to go back, so let's fly to point here. Take off the handbrakes. Come on back. Stand on the ground. A lot of multitasking here. So as far as joining the server, just I have a few videos there that are in this channel here. They're listed in the how to join the basic train handling operations. That's all we're looking for. We want to make sure that you can drive the train without crashing into anything. You can control your speed. You can do a controlled stop. You understand the basics of tagging. I cover all that in my basic train handling. And that's all you need to know to do a skills check, where we just make sure that you're not going to, tear up the server. You can pass that. You can just do the basics like that. You can join the server and you can learn with the rest of us. We're always learning. We're always having fun. There's no pressure. Everything's nice and relaxed. You want to do like 100% realistic train operations? That's what the Depot Plus is for. We just did 2 hours 2 days ago on there. All right, we're going to disconnect here. And let me just copy my train as I have it now in case something were to happen. Yeah, you basically, once you have the game installed and you learn how to move it forward and back and stop and all that, you'll literally be ready to go request a skills check in less than a week. Depends on how much time you have to practice, you know what I mean? Just practice what I show you. Don't worry about the humping stuff. We don't really do that anymore, or at least I don't, because you have to have a job in order to do that, and that job tells you how to do it, and you're just AI in it usually anyways. So don't really focus on that. Focus on the train handling around Barstow. Download the skills check scenario too from us, from our Discord, the Mateo Community Server Discord. A lot of people join my Discord. Down below there's links to all the different Discords. The High Green Run8 is our East Coast server. The Mateo is this server. And then there's my Discord in there, just because, I'm a YouTube guy, so I have my own Discord in there, my own group of players that I play with. It's probably not the best for people who enjoy this content, unless they're trying to interact with me, but I don't interact with DMs anyways. But that's just where we play multiplayer games together, not necessarily this. This was the 51, so I got to come here. So yeah, those of you who have been joining my Discord, thank you. But you're going to be leaving because there's not a whole lot of talk to anybody that's not gaming with us in the silly games that we play. Okay, yeah, I think I saw you join Discord. Just you probably only need, a day or so of practice in the game, and the videos will help you out with that. There's other people like Mateo has some videos. The Lazy Farmer, he does, more of the single player operations. So definitely watch all these guys on how they operate, and you'll see it's really not hard. Really not a lot to it. Just got to watch your speeds, especially in the yards. Bring your train to a nice controlled stop. Those are the big things. Like, I don't couple above 5 miles per hour in most cases. Sometimes it happens, but I got to pay attention to it. I got all this information up here that I can change. With Control Z, will change all these things. Learning the keys on how to, for your train is really the biggest thing. Of course, you can always hit the panic button and stop everything if you're going to crash, especially in single player. Is basically do that and everything comes to a stop. It's F5. And now I'll put the handbrakes on every car, instantly stopping you. Of course, then you got to take them off when you try to move it again. So we don't want to see that every time, though. We just, you need to know how to do it, but how to bring your train to a sudden stop to stop the server from crashing. Oh, and sometimes it takes you out of gear when you do that too, like neutral, like I just was. So it's very fun to do. It's fun with other people, and it's also, even if you're playing in here by yourself, like I do often, the fact that there's other players passing me and honking at me and waving at me and doing all that, moving equipment around so that you don't have to do it all in single player. Well, that's what this is about. We'll help you learn once you get in, you know what I mean? So you don't have to know everything. But we're here to help too. Learn that stuff with you. All right, so 81s are coming off now. I got plenty of handbrakes on. I'm going to move over to this free lane here, this drive-through, pass-through. Yeah, I can actually go back here and do it, but I kind of want to keep these together because they're just going to get brought down to C yard here shortly. So I am taking out my lane that goes all the way through, but that's okay because I got other ones I can use too. I leave all that information. I leave all these decisions up to the engineer bringing cars in or moving stuff around. You know, there's a couple switches that we want set a certain way. So you just want to set those back. But other than that, we're really hands off. You know, here's the job description. If we have a job, you know, once you learn these ones here, this is a San Bernardino DLC. Once you get a feel for what's going on, basically this job just recycles. And so you don't need any of my help at that point. It's like, take these cars and put them where they need to go and then pick them up and send them out. That's pretty much all it is. How you do it is completely up to you. Right now, I'm just literally sorting. I'm not delivering anything. I don't have time. I've started this an hour and 35 minutes ago, and I still have 3 tracks to sort. My other 81 stack here. Stop it at way. But actually, you might be able to keep way on there. If this one of these, oh, I got 3 tracks. Oh my goodness. That's 71, so we're gonna go ahead and leave way where it's at. We'll grab this one. Yeah, it's not really a test either. It's just like, you know, we help you through it. It's like, do you know how to do this? Yes. Do you know how to do this? Yes. Do you know what this signal means? No. Okay, well, this is what it means. Safe train handling and knowing where to find and how to follow our rules are the biggest things that we care about. So squeaky wheels there as I put on the independent brakes. You go up high here. Make sure I got some parking brakes on so that they don't shift, as they will. Physics pretty close in here. Coming back for a brake test. Right, notch 4, it's not budging. Let's go to notch 6 because I wanted 5. Coming off the power and watch it stop. And it does. We're done with this cut. We're going to come over and grab this tanker cut next. Too far away, apparently. All right, we're going to cut it off right here. Coming on forward. You know, rules? You don't need no rules in multiplayer. What are you talking about? And I believe the saying is roads. We don't need no roads, but we need rules. Kind of rough enough sometimes with the rules. People decide that they don't want to follow them, and you know, they don't last long. You know, they get a. It first depends on the rule they break. We explain that in the skills check. It also really depends on how often they choose not to follow them. Not all rules are created equally. Some of them are more severe than others, like spawning trains. We don't allow that. We have plenty of trains for you to play with. You don't need to spawn your own. There's a reason for all of our rules. We keep add 1 or 2 or tweak 1 or 2 here because, you know, they don't make sense or need a little tweaking because maybe it was too stern or not stern enough, and people just make the same mistakes. All right, so in here I got 2 71s together, but now I've got some 51s behind it. So we'll go ahead and let's pull these forward. Let's check the air on them. They're not doing too bad. We'll go ahead and control F7 and bleed them all. And brakes off going forward. That's backwards. I should have just went. That's what I wanted. 2, not 3, but Oh, something's going on here. It feels very heavy. Yeah, it's 3,100 tons, but I feel like something is still weren't bled all the way or something. So when they were delivered earlier, I think Deaky dropped them off, but he opened the angle cocks on all the ends, but the air was still bottled up. I'm not sure why that was. Shouldn't have been. When I say the air is bottled, so the train uses air to control, to tell these cars what to do. So that's the bottle there. That bottle holds 90 psi of air in it. It could be that one. One of them, there's an emergency reservoir. Anyways, the cars see the air pressure running through the brake pipe, and then they react to match. And but there's air bottled up in each car, so that as the brake pipe says 80, and then all of a sudden you have to do an emergency dump, there's enough air in there to tell, hey, go ahead and dump all the air, go to 0, and it just dumps everything. But so it's 80 and you want to go back to 90, you release the air. If the air wasn't bottled in the car, when you go back to 90, it has to wait for the engines that are the air compressors to send air all the way back from where they are to that middle car. For example, there's DPUs on either end. You got the lead end and the DPUs in the back. You change the air pressure back to 90, you have to wait for the air to go all the way through, rather than each car sees that pressure differential, and then it can take its own air and charge back 90 pounds to release the brakes. And then the compressors on the locomotives will then, it sends down the line that extra air pressure, and it starts recharging its own tanks from that. Sounds complicated, but it's really not. Actually, pretty genius. We're going to grab these 51s, and who knows how long this cut is because I never looked. It's not that bad. We go into this car here. Got 81s behind it. We may have too many to fit here. Might be close. See what we got. See what we got when we got it. Again, we can always. So the 351 cars, oftentimes we'll take them over here to B yard anyways, because they're going to service all of these industries here and over here, and that's it. So it services these, those down there, those down there, and those down there. So you see three of the 4 spurs come off of here. So there's why we usually take them there. We don't want to do that in the middle of sorting because that's going to take extra time. The 71 cars, the 2271 cars, are actually coming back here. They're going across the street here, and the 71 cars get serviced out of this area here with the little yard there. Done it many times in the channel. Done it many more times on the server. And then the 2281 cars goes across the bridge, and it goes down this way. And they actually come down here. And so you have on both sides here, you have stuff over here down that area, and stuff down here. Oh, that's the main line. Stuff down here. This is the yard for the C yard, which is we just came when I went crazy with the mouse. We came right through there. So it's just straight ahead here. So here's the, basically we can store and sort in this yard as well, all these industries around here. So that's C yard. And that is LAJ. A, B, C, and the LAJ A West yard is the one across the street over there. We're coming up on the end of this cut. Grab the 71s off of their first. Oh no, we can do the 81s. We have a combination of 81s and 70s. So let's see. We don't want to take everything. All right, let me stop this here. Well, no, we're going. The reason is the 81s and 71s are pretty close to each other. How many more do I have? Yeah, I'll get rid of the 71s first. 71 has a ways. Can still hold a bunch of more cars. 20, 18 to 20 more. Only have about 10. Going to this switch here. To connect to this guy. About 4 more to go. Now 3. Dynamics coming on. You see the lights coming on here in LAJ A. Gets too dark in the stream, I'll turn the daytime on in my single player or my client. Waiting for a stop here. I won't be able to ride that. It seems like that car, one of these doesn't let me ride it, and it might be this. Yeah, it's this. Oh no, this reefer does. Some other reefer doesn't let me do it. All right, so help with the independent brakes. They're going to slow down to a stop. .1 mile an hour, and we'll come out of dynamics, reverse, and on back. Yeah, there's a couple cars you can't ride though. I think there's one tanker. For some reason, it's like doesn't have the handholds on it. Some of the well cars where you do the intermodals, can't put them in those either. Piggybacks, I don't think you. Yeah, I don't know. I've never. Because in the intermodal yards, they don't do a lot of the riding. I just do a lot of flying because they're usually pretty, pretty long. I'm at 3.5 miles an hour in reverse. Standing right where the car is going to smash into my body. Going to become a statistic for the railroad instead of an employee. So these ones are going to get shoved back, pushing that cut. We'll cut it at the 81, pull a little forward, I'm sure, and then cut back over 2. At 4.5. Now slowing down. We're under 5 on coupling. We're okay. Black just came out of it, so now we're at 3. That's even better. 2.5. Muchos betteres. All right, handbrakes off, coming back still. Mashing failure, me getting run over? I don't know, would it? That's like personal decision there, personal choices. Not like you don't have years of content if I'm gone to keep you going anyways. Arco gets still his lifetime of sleep. Money. All right, here comes our 81 Taco Bell car. We'll handle that one with kids' gloves because you don't want all the hot sauce packets to be blasted open and all the shells to be broken. You have to be gentle. And there's some sort of, this is peaceful, just moving these cars around. Get in a train, you just go one way and till the end and then stop. I don't find that as exhilarating as moving the equipment around. I just came off the throttle. We're going to go back about another full car length and then we'll bring her to a stop. Cars are slacking and according. This is Taco Bell. We got to go back and about another. I want to bring these wheels to about here to make sure that any slack or whatever doesn't push these cars more to blocking the switch. Hit curves right here. We just don't need that kind of stress levels in our engineering life here. All right, I'm gonna put a handbrake on that. Handbrake on that. Going to cause those to compress a little bit. Got to go into fly mode and go up in the air to put more handbrakes on. That one's on. Do this. This one. And we're starting to get pretty heavy here, so I think that should be enough. We're going to test it, though, before we let these go. So let's come on back. Side of the building. I mean, it's the same thing. All right, so I'm moving. I'm going to take off the gas pedal, and it immediately stops. We have to disconnect this before we press out. Yep. I knew it. I was trying to get there in time. That's why you got to be... I'm all sorts of messed up. Reverse. So they compressed, and then they expanded, and I didn't get it before they expanded, so I have to do it again. Okay, now we can go forward. Just like that. We're out of there. The 81s are coming back now, but we'll just pass this switch with 1.5 more, possibly 2 more cars to go. .5 dynamics coming on. About a half a car left to clear the switch. We're past the switch, coming on all the way, and independent brakes. Dynamics off, coming in reverse. 3 blasts, and here we go. Gonna watch our speed as we hit 1 miles per hour up there. I don't want to come in like 20 miles an hour. That'd suck. So these are 3351. No, these are 81s, aren't they? 81s coming now. We'll verify that again. Those are 81 cut. Taco Bell is 81, so we are lined up and ready for expansion of this 81 cut. All right, that took a little bit longer than I thought it would, huh? Took you an hour and a half. Well, an hour and 50 minutes to get there because you left right as I started. So an hour and 45 to get West Colton from LA on the UP side. But of course you did go all the way around though, and then you had to cut through CI through those squiggly tracks because Streeter isn't connected yet. And so that's all slow speed limit stuff there. I don't know how long you waited at the signal. And now you're in the West Colton receiving yard. The Lazy Farmer and I were chatting right before the stream. So I started doing this at about the same time he was pulling out of the yard that's kind of over by me here. So he was in the same area about, half a mile, about a mile away, less than a mile. So he left from here and went to West Colton. All while I've been adjusting this. So I'm going to go ahead and change my options here. You can do this anytime on any server, by the way. You just override network time and date. You can only go backwards. So if you want to see what it looks like in daytime, and the lights, let there be light. That sucker's rusty. It only affects your client, by the way. Doesn't affect the server at all. So don't ever worry about that. But if you, especially if you're overseas and every time you come to play Run 8 and on a server and it's nighttime, well, you don't have to. Make it daytime. Jeffrey, how you doing? So I have a couple 81s here. I'm going to push back, but my parking handbrakes are on. All parking brake, but they're handbrakes. So we have it's about 3 cars left to go. 5.5 miles an hour. That's the one that we want to stop when we want to stop it, which is in about 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll put the handbrakes on. That should be good. There's a lot of weight behind us, so it's not coming to a complete stop, but we will wait for it to stop completely before we do our before we perform a handbrake test. I think I have 5 or 6 cars on. I think 5. I don't need notch 5. There's notch 3 coming on back, notch 4. See if it starts rolling. Once we get a full turn on the wheels, off with the power, and we get about a quarter turn on the wheels. So the handbrake test is good. Now we're going to pull forward and release the 51 cars, the 3351 cars, which go here. So I will set this switch in anticipation of backing up to this cut here. I'm going to fly and see how much room I have. I have plenty of room behind. We'll continue forward. Gotta go to this switch and throw that one to back up. We do have a number of cars, but we have, if all of these are the 3351, except for potentially the front, the 2 up against the lead end, those are 71 cars. They're going all the way back on the cut, all the way over to my right now as I'm looking at it. All right, so I got dynamics on, independent brakes on. All right, well, happy early birthday. Next Saturday is his birthday. I don't celebrate my birthdays anymore. It's not because any other reason than it's just whatever. Don't care. I was on the earth as it went around the sun one more time. But I've also had plenty to celebrate, so really no big deal about it. I just don't make a big deal about it anymore. Of course, I like when somebody says happy birthday and stuff to me. Mine's in May, by the way. If you want to send me money, I do enjoy getting money for my birthday, though. That I will never, say, well, it's not my birthday, don't give me money. Just, you want to give me money, yeah. Yeah, we're good. We do like money. If anybody feels like they got to celebrate my birthday in May by giving me money, feel free. I'm not going to say no. Other than that, I don't do cake and all that stuff. No reason to make a big deal about it. Said the rock went around the sun one more time, one more revolution. There seems to be a little bit more cars here than I thought, so let me go look at the rear. We got about another 6 or so we're going to have to start being careful here. You have more than 6 on this end. That might be my cutoff point. No, I have more than that. That one's 3351, that one's 3351, and then 3351, and 3351, and 3351. And then 2271. So that would be the actual point. We want to fit the whole train on the tracks. Let's do that. But more importantly, we'll go to the back of it here, and we want to cut our point out here again for expansion purposes, so we don't creep out too far into the switch. So I would want to have it stop here. I'm going to put a handbrake on the rear 2 cars, so that it will actually stop where I want it to, or close to it. Sometimes you like beer. I mean, you should like me all the time, unless you're talking about the drink. All right, so I think I'm looking at another car, maybe a car and a half. We do have quite a... Right there is the absolute point that I don't want to pass. Once we get it where we want it, with these handbrakes on, this is going to help us stick the rear of the train where we want it in all senses of that word. So if I come off the brakes here, it literally stop right where I want it because the handbrakes are on. Call that a good stop there. Let's go to the front of the train. Put the independent brake all the way on. Pull off the cars that are up here that don't belong in. And now we can see that our train completely fits in the tracks here that we have assigned them to. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bump test in reverse for handbrake test. I don't want to take too much in the rear there. See, it's not really moving. Once it starts, I'll just come off real quick. And let's see, it stops instantly. So we are passing as far as a brake test. Handbrake test. Open coupler. A copy of the train just in case something happens to it real quick. You see me do that often. I have it here. And if something were to happen to this train, I would be able to save it locally. And in the case of the Mateo Community server, I can then request a yardmaster restore it for me when they have an opportunity, because I have a save of it locally. I can give them 2 files that I would need to restore, that the yardmaster would need, which would be me or somebody else. That's a yardmaster. Restore that train onto the server for your use. XML and an info file, the 2 that we need, named the same from the same train when you save it. 71's coming here, and that leaves us with 2 more tracks. Something that may not happen tonight as our shift is ending shortly. We'll get these 71's off though. Brake squeak. Throw that guy. Let's come on back. We'll give it a little bit of a little sound there coming back. And then we'll come up with some tunage. Let me see. I'm trying to turn. There we go. Get this piled on here. The handbrakes off, and we'll clear the switch. I think we have plenty of room behind us too. 5 miles an hour. We're good there on a couple. Handbrake off. Coming on back. As soon as we get this buckled behind the train here, I'm going to call Simulator Sunday for the 18th of February a success. Came in, we did what we got to do, and had a great time doing it. Appreciate all you guys showing up for this. I will not be on Twitch Live this Wednesday, as most of you know, because I will be headed out for some training out of town. Then when I do get back, the Simulator Sunday next Sunday. Shut these off, and then we're going to set our handbrakes. So we got a stream next Simulator Sunday on Wednesday. We'll be back on Twitch the following Wednesday for our last whatever stream we're doing. Probably LA Noir will end that series for the baseball season that's coming up with the beer keggers. And then you guys, of course, will have 3 more of these before the beer keggers kick off. That'll be March 5th on Twitch. Every Wednesday night, roughly 5 p.m. is what I shoot for. Life comes first. Like Simulator Sunday is about every Sunday at 4, unless the Super Bowl happens. I cancel it, or sometimes I go on a little bit early. But you can always track me on Twitter. Twitter is KungfuBeer. So thanks again, everybody, for joining me. I hope you have a great week. See you next weekend for Simulator Sunday. So everybody take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.